In this episode, I'm showing you exactly how to retire 10 to 15 years earlier. My dad walked away from his job at age 50, and this episode is a tribute to him. He passed away last Monday, March 16th, and he lived a great life. He retired at 50, not because he was lucky. He followed 10 simple rules that anyone can copy. And most people retire at age 65. My dad retired at 50, financially free. The difference? 10 decisions. Today, you're getting the exact blueprint my dad used, the same principles you can start using today to retire early or retire on your terms. My dad never earned six figures. He never inherited money. He never hit it big on some investment. Yet he built up enough wealth to walk away at age 50. How? He understood something most people miss about money. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and the decisions you make with what you have. And one of his principles, it goes against everything financial gurus tell you to do. This is Brian. I've been a financial advisor for over 25 years, and my dad was my biggest teacher. And I'm going to miss him dearly, but the principles he taught me are burned in my mind. My dad started with nothing. He had a blue-collar job, average salary, 2 kids, a mortgage, the same financial pressures you're all dealing with right now. But at 50, while his coworkers and friends were grinding for another 15 years, he was done. Financially independent, mortgage paid off, retirement accounts maxed, and zero debt. I watched this happen. I saw the choices he made, and honestly, I didn't know it at the time, but what he was doing was building a future. I got hand-me-downs. When my friends' parents were upgrading to bigger houses, driving new cars every few years, taking lavish vacations, my dad was saying no to most of it. He did buy a used motorhome with a friend he shared it with, and we traveled all over the United States, and I'll always remember those trips. Looking back, it may sound boring or restrictive. It looked like he was missing out, but he had a plan and built a rich life for us with low-cost experiences while building financial security. My dad understood early retirement isn't about deprivation. It's about intentional decisions, small choices compounded over time. And he lived by 10 specific principles that made all the difference. Now, my dad's principles, some of them are very simple. They're not complicated Wall Street strategies. They're not get-rich-quick schemes. They're simple, repeatable actions that anyone earning an average income can implement. And the best part, you don't need to follow all 10. Even implementing 3 or 4 of these principles can shave years off your retirement timeline. So let's break down exactly what my dad did. These 10 principles fall into 3 categories: housing decisions, investment strategy, and lifestyle discipline. I'm going to show you how each one compounds over time. So let's talk about principle number 1 and number 2, the housing strategy. Principle number 1, he put 50% down on his first house. I know this is hard to do today. Most people today put down 3% or as high as 20%. My dad saved 50% of the purchase price before buying. Sounds pretty crazy, but here's why it worked. A lower mortgage payment meant less interest over the life of the loan and immediate equity. When everyone else was house poor, struggling with massive monthly payments, my dad's housing costs were manageable. This freed up cash flow for everything else. But here's where it gets better. Principle number 2, he paid off his first house before moving in to a new one. Think about this. By his late 30s, he owned his home outright, no mortgage. When he wanted to upgrade, he sold the first house and put that equity toward the next one. He never carried 2 mortgages, never got over leveraged. Now, I know this is probably hard to do today, but this means that you don't buy a house that a mortgage company says you can afford. Buy a house that you feel comfortable with, that you can manage the debt load. So this leads me to wealth decision principle number 1. Equity is freedom. Debt is delay. Every dollar tied up in debt payments is a dollar that can't work for your future. My dad chose freedom over leverage, and that freedom came 15 years earlier. Principle number 3, never have a car payment. My dad never had a car payment. The average car payment in America today is over $700 a month. Over 30 years, that's $252,000, not including interest. My dad drove used cars. He paid cash, and he kept them running for a long time. Was it glamorous? No. We had a station wagon with wood panels, an old used Ford Taurus. But here's what happened with that money that he wasn't spending. It went into investments. And over 30 years and an 8% return, a $700 monthly payment can turn into over $1 million. All right, let's move on to principle number 4 and number 5, the investment strategy. This is where most people get it wrong. They either take no risk or take too much risk. My dad balanced both. So principle number 4, he invested aggressively early. In his 20s and 30s, when he had time on his side, he invested heavily in growth mutual funds. Time was his advantage. Market volatility didn't scare him because he had decades to recover. But here's the key, and this is principle number 5. He never took big risks in individual stocks. No single stock bets, no options trading, no chasing hot stock tips. Now, quick disclaimer, I remember my dad telling me some stories where he took a small amount of money and put it into some small mining penny stocks, and he lost everything. Of course, it was with a small amount of money that he could afford to lose. My dad invested in diversified growth mutual funds that were steady, predictable, and that were incredibly effective on building his wealth with diversification. Now let's move on to principles number 6 and 7, debt and tax strategy. Principle number 6, he never carried a credit card balance. Credit cards are for convenience and rewards, never for borrowing. And here's why this matters. The average American carries over $6,000 in credit card debt. At 20% interest, that's $1,200 a year going nowhere. Over 30 years, avoiding that debt and investing those interest payments instead, you're looking at over $200,000 in savings. My dad avoided that trap completely. He always paid in cash, and he never borrowed on credit. Principle number 7, he maxed out his IRA and eventually a Roth IRA when they became available every year. Consistent contribution, decades of compounding. By age 50, his IRA alone could have funded his entire retirement. So this leads me to wealth decision principle number 2. Tax-free beats tax-deferred when time is on your side. The money you save in taxes in retirement is money you get to keep and spend. Principle number 8 is he maxed out his 401k and invested in a taxable investment account. Every year, no matter what, he took full advantage of his employer match and went beyond it. Pre-tax contributions lowered his taxable income, and the compound growth built his largest retirement asset. He also invested extra money in a taxable investment account and growth mutual funds to fund his early retirement. Coming up, the 2 lifestyle principles that most people think are extreme, including myself, plus the 1 principle that might surprise you the most. So principles 9 and 10 are lifestyle discipline. Principle number 9, he never purchased a drink at a bar. This one sounds extreme, I know, but let me explain the thinking. It wasn't about being cheap. Well, maybe it was a little bit. It was about awareness. $5 here, $10 there, it adds up to thousands annually. My dad saw every purchase as a choice. He socialized mainly at home, had friends over, enjoyed his life, but he was intentional about where his money went. Now, of course, once he retired and he built up his wealth and he was comfortable, he would go out with friends to different bars in Arizona, but he always made sure it was happy hour. So this leads me to the final principle, principle number 10. He only bought things on sale. Patience became his wealth-building superpower. He waited for sales. He bought off season. He used coupons. He never paid full price. This wasn't just about saving money on purchases. It was about developing a frugal mindset. So this leads me to wealth decision principle number 3. Every dollar saved is a soldier working for your freedom. My dad treated his money like an army. Every dollar had a job. Build wealth, secure freedom, retire early. So here's what you can do right now today. You might not be able to follow all 10 principles, but start with 3. So here's my 5-minute challenge for you. First, calculate your current path toward retirement. When will you be debt-free? When can you retire? Write down the numbers. Second, choose 3 principles from this list that resonate the most for you. Maybe it's eliminating your car payment or buying a used car next time. Maybe it's maxing out your Roth IRA. Maybe it's paying off your house faster or not using credit cards. And 3, Create one specific action step for each principle. Make it concrete, make it measurable. Here's an example. Let's say you chose the car payment principle. Your action step: calculate how much you're paying monthly. Research the value of your car. Create a plan to pay it off or sell it and buy a reliable used car with cash. Then redirect that monthly payment into investments. One decision compounded over time, life-changing results. I'd love if you commented on this episode. I'll put a pinned comment to help you remember some of the principles my dad lived by to retire early and enjoy a great life, rich with experiences, good friendships, and family connections. My dad retired at 50 because he made different choices, not because he was smarter, not because he earned more, because he was intentional with every dollar. The same path is available to each and every one of you. Early retirement isn't reserved for just the wealthy. It's available to anyone willing to make intentional decisions. And once again, if this video gave any value to your life, hit that subscribe button. Join the community of people who are choosing financial freedom over financial stress. And once again, this is Brian, the Wealth Decisions Guy. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you next week.